Start our journey inside the cell, the basic building block of all living things. Each cell is like a tiny bustling city filled with different structures that work together to keep life going. Among these structures, some are so small that you need a powerful microscope to see them. Today we'll focus on one of the most important players inside the cell, the ribosome. Get ready to discover why these tiny factories are so essential for life as we know it. Inside every cell there are countless tiny structures, each with its own job. Some help the cell get energy, others store information, and some are responsible for building important molecules. Among these, ribosomes stand out because of their crucial role. Even though they are incredibly small, ribosomes have a big impact on how cells function and survive. Let's take a closer look at what makes ribosomes so special. Ribosomes are tiny round structures found in every cell. They might look simple, but they're actually complex machines made up of proteins and RNA. Their main job is to build proteins, which are essential for almost every process in the body. Without ribosomes, cells wouldn't be able to make the proteins they need to grow, repair damage, or carry out daily activities. That's why ribosomes are often called the cell's protein factories. But what exactly do ribosomes do? Their main responsibility is to make proteins. Proteins are large, complex molecules that perform many important tasks in the body, from building tissues to fighting off germs. Ribosomes read the instructions from the cell's DNA and use them to assemble proteins one piece at a time. This process is called protein synthesis, and it's happening in your cells right now. Proteins are the building blocks of life. They help cells grow, repair themselves, and perform countless functions. For example, enzymes are proteins that speed up chemical reactions, while antibodies are proteins that help protect us from illness. Without proteins, our bodies wouldn't be able to function properly. That's why the work ribosomes do is so important for every living thing. Inside the cell, ribosomes can be found in different places. Some ribosomes float freely in the cytoplasm, which is the jelly-like substance that fills the cell. These free-floating ribosomes make proteins that will stay inside the cell and help it function. The cytoplasm is like a busy workspace where ribosomes can move around and get to work wherever they're needed. Not all ribosomes float freely. Some are attached to a special structure called the endoplasmic reticulum, or ER for short. When ribosomes attach to the ER, it becomes known as the rough ER because of its bumpy appearance. These ribosomes make proteins that are sent out of the cell or delivered to specific places within the cell. This teamwork helps the cell stay organized and efficient. Endoplasmic reticulum, or ER, is like a network of tubes inside the cell. It helps transport proteins and other materials to where they're needed. When ribosomes are attached to the ER, they work together to make and move proteins quickly and efficiently. This partnership is essential for the cell's health and function, ensuring that proteins reach their correct destinations. Imagine ribosomes as tiny machines working nonstop to build proteins. Each ribosome reads a set of instructions and puts together amino acids, the building blocks of proteins, in the right order. This process happens thousands of times every second in your body. Thanks to ribosomes, your cells always have the proteins they need to stay healthy and active. What would happen if a cell didn't have ribosomes? Without ribosomes, the cell couldn't make proteins. This would be a huge problem because proteins are needed for almost everything a cell does. Without them, the cell couldn't grow, repair itself, or even survive. That's why ribosomes are considered essential for life. Ribosomes are truly essential for life. Every living thing, from the tiniest bacteria to the largest animals, depends on ribosomes to make proteins. Without them, life as we know it simply wouldn't exist. That's why scientists spend so much time studying ribosomes and how they work. Understanding ribosomes helps us learn more about health, disease, and the amazing complexity of life. If we zoom in even further, we can see that ribosomes are made up of two main parts called subunits. These subunits fit together like puzzle pieces and work as a team to build proteins. Each subunit is made of proteins and RNA, which help the ribosome read instructions and assemble amino acids. This structure allows ribosomes to work quickly and accurately. Ribosomes don't just build proteins randomly. They follow a set of instructions carried by messenger RNA or mRNA. The mRNA brings the genetic code from the cell's DNA to the ribosome, telling it exactly which amino acids to use and in what order. This precise process ensures that each protein is made correctly so the cell can function properly. Protein synthesis is the process of building proteins from amino acids. Ribosomes play the starring role in this process. They read the mRNA instructions and link together the right amino acids to form a protein. This process is vital for growth, repair, and everyday cell activities. Without protein synthesis, life would not be possible. One of the most important jobs of proteins is to help the body grow and repair itself. When you get a cut or break a bone, proteins made by ribosomes help rebuild the damaged tissue. They also help your body grow taller and stronger as you get older. This is why having healthy ribosomes is so important for everyone, especially growing children. Proteins do much more than just help us grow. They are involved in almost every process in the body. Some proteins act as messengers, sending signals between cells. Others help move materials around, while some protect us from germs. All of these proteins are made by ribosomes, showing just how important these tiny structures are. Did you know that every living thing has ribosomes? Whether it's a plant, animal, or even a single-celled organism like bacteria, ribosomes are always present. This shows how essential they are for life. No matter how different living things might seem, they all rely on ribosomes to make the proteins they need to survive. Ribosomes can be found in two main places inside the cell, floating freely in the cytoplasm or attached to the endoplasmic reticulum. Free-floating ribosomes usually make proteins that stay inside the cell, while attached ribosomes often make proteins that are sent out of the cell. This division of labor helps the cell stay organized and efficient. Cytoplasm is like the cell's main workspace. It's filled with water, nutrients, and all the tools the cell needs to function. Ribosomes floating in the cytoplasm can move to wherever they're needed most, making sure the cell always has the proteins it needs. This flexibility is one reason why cells are so efficient. When ribosomes attach to the endoplasmic reticulum, it's called the rough ER. The rough ER looks bumpy under a microscope because of all the ribosomes on its surface. This structure helps the cell make and transport proteins quickly, especially those that need to be sent out of the cell or to specific locations. Not all parts of the endoplasmic reticulum have ribosomes. The smooth ER doesn't have ribosomes and has different jobs like making fats and breaking down toxins. This shows how cells have specialized areas for different tasks, with ribosomes playing a key role in protein production. Once a ribosome makes a protein, the journey isn't over. Proteins often need to be modified or transported to their final destination. The endoplasmic reticulum and other cell structures help with this process, making sure every protein ends up where it's needed most. Healthy ribosomes are vital for a healthy body. If ribosomes don't work properly, cells can't make the proteins they need. This can lead to health problems and diseases. Scientists study ribosomes to understand how they work and how to fix them when things go wrong. Some medicines work by targeting ribosomes in bacteria, stopping them from making proteins. This helps fight infections without harming human cells. Understanding ribosomes helps doctors and scientists develop better treatments for diseases. Scientists use advanced tools to study ribosomes and learn how they work. By understanding ribosomes better, researchers can find new ways to treat diseases and improve health. Ribosomes are a key focus in biology and medicine today. Ribosomes have been around for billions of years. They are found in all living things, showing how important they are for life. Over time, ribosomes have evolved to become even more efficient at making proteins, helping life on Earth thrive. Ribosomes work closely with DNA and RNA, the molecules that carry genetic information. By reading the instructions from DNA, ribosomes help turn genetic codes into real working proteins. This connection is at the heart of how life works. Plants have ribosomes too. In plant cells, ribosomes make proteins needed for growth, photosynthesis, and defense. Without ribosomes, plants couldn't grow or survive. This shows how ribosomes are essential for all forms of life, not just humans. Animal cells rely on ribosomes to make the proteins needed for movement, digestion, and many other functions. Whether it's a tiny mouse or a huge elephant, every animal depends on ribosomes to stay alive and healthy. Even the simplest life forms like bacteria have ribosomes. Bacterial ribosomes are slightly different from those in plants and animals, but they do the same important job, making proteins. This is why some antibiotics can target bacterial ribosomes without harming human cells. There are thousands of different proteins in the body, each with a unique job. Ribosomes are responsible for making all of them, from the proteins in your muscles to the ones in your hair. This incredible diversity is what makes life so complex and amazing. Making proteins takes a lot of energy. Cells use special molecules called ATP to power ribosomes and other cell activities. This energy helps ribosomes work quickly and efficiently, keeping the cell healthy and active. As cells grow and divide, they need more proteins. Ribosomes ramp up their activity to meet this demand, making sure new cells have everything they need to survive and thrive. This is especially important during development and healing. Whenever you get hurt, your cells jump into action. Ribosomes quickly make the proteins needed to repair damaged tissues. This rapid response helps you heal faster and stay healthy. As we age, our cells may not make proteins as efficiently as they once did. Scientists are studying how ribosomes change over time and how this affects aging and health. Understanding ribosomes could help us find ways to stay healthier as we get older. Sometimes, problems with ribosomes can lead to diseases. If ribosomes can't make proteins correctly, cells can't function properly. Scientists are working to understand these diseases and develop new treatments by studying ribosomes. Biotechnology uses ribosomes to make medicines, vaccines, and other helpful products. By harnessing the power of ribosomes, scientists can create proteins in the lab that help treat diseases and improve lives. The presence of ribosomes in all living things shows how important they are in evolution. Over time, ribosomes have adapted to meet the needs of different organisms, helping life on Earth become more diverse and successful. As science advances, we are learning even more about ribosomes and their role in life. New discoveries could lead to better medicines, healthier lives, and a deeper understanding of how life works at the smallest level. Even though you can't see them, ribosomes are working hard in your body every second. They help you grow, heal, and stay healthy. Every time you move, think, or breathe, ribosomes are making the proteins that make it all possible. Ribosomes may be small, but their impact is huge. These tiny machines keep every cell running smoothly, making life possible for all living things. Their story is a reminder that even the smallest parts of life can have the biggest effects. Every cell in your body has ribosomes working around the clock to keep you healthy. From your skin to your bones, ribosomes are always busy making the proteins you need. Next time you think about what keeps you alive, remember the tiny ribosomes inside every cell. Ribosomes are found in every corner of the living world. From the deepest oceans to the tallest mountains, wherever there is life, there are ribosomes. Their universal presence shows just how important they are to all living things. Scientists continue to celebrate the discovery and understanding of ribosomes. Their work has helped us unlock many secrets of life and health. As we learn more, we can appreciate just how amazing these tiny structures really are. To sum up, ribosomes are the tiny factories inside every cell that make life possible. They build the proteins needed for growth, repair, and everyday activities. Without ribosomes, cells couldn't survive and life as we know it wouldn't exist. So next time you think about what keeps you alive, remember the incredible ribosome.